Sunday, 4:30, Super Sunday, Chelsea take on Arsenal in what will be the game of the weekend. But this isn't going to be a similar Arsenal to what we've seen in the past few years. In fact, Chelsea have not beaten Arsenal in the last 6 attempts. 5 wins for Arsenal and 1 draw. Last season at Stamford Bridge, we've seen Arsenal come from 2-0 down to draw the game 2-2. And then at the Emirates, it was a 5-0 thrashing. But I don't think it's going to be the same. I don't think it's going to be the same this time round. Arsenal are going to come up against a different beast in Chelsea this season. They've been absolutely refreshed, refined from the Pochettino days, tactically and personnel-wise. But Chelsea are also going to see something different from Arsenal. I've seen them be a lot more pragmatic, a lot more defensive, winning games early. This is going to be a real chess piece. Personally, I think we're going to see Arsenal set up as something similar to what we're seeing against Tottenham away. Well, let's not make any mistake about it. They were defensively excellent and nicked a goal from a corner and come away with a 1-0 win. Arsenal are being a lot more defensive, a lot more compact, a lot more assured in their defensive capabilities. And that's shown in the statistics from the opening 14 games last season to the opening 14 games this season. The lower on possession, successful passes have reduced from 481 to 330. Passes in the final thirds have reduced. Touches in the opposition box. Shots faced has also increased. And their total shots per 90 has decreased. So the statistics are proving that they're not being their fluid self. But I think this is on purpose. Yes, we all know Martin Odegaard has been out injured and he is the cog to everything they do offensively. And he sets a lot of triggering presses defensively. So it looks like they have saved that athleticism and be more compact. Against Tottenham, we're seeing the 2 wingers tuck in slightly behind Kai Havertz, and they were used as the pressing system. And they had the 2 central midfielders protecting the back line. And look at Thomas Partey's positioning. He's pretty much played the game as a centre-back. And I think we're going to be seeing something similar away to Chelsea. So it's going to be incredibly difficult to break Arsenal down. Now, if you go back to when Arteta first got the job as Arsenal manager, he spoke about non-negotiables, and this was actually highlighted in their All or Nothing documentary. He spoke about the love of winning individual duels, and that's exactly what they looked to do against Tottenham. They forced Tottenham out wide and trusted their 2 fullbacks against their wingers. So they trusted Ben White, Jurrien Timber, beat and get the better of Brennan Johnson and Son in the one-on-one duels. And I think they're going to do something similar against Chelsea. But I think this is where Chelsea can shine. We all know it's going to be a physical battle in the middle of the park when you've got Declan Rice, you've got Thomas Partey, you've got Moses Caicedo, you've got Romeo Lavia. It's going to be like 2 worlds colliding. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not the Arsenal of last season. They are a lot more pragmatic, but they do give you chances. So if we can excel and beat them in them one-on-one duels, that's where you open up Arsenal. We need to get the ball out wide early, but I think the game is won and lost in the middle of the park. I think whoever wins that battle wins this game, because then you can force quick turnovers, try and compete against their fullbacks one-on-one. Because against Tottenham, Martinelli had 6 ball recoveries, Bukayo Saka had 4. It goes to show their work rate of getting back and being almost providing a 6 at the back. And it was incredibly difficult for Tottenham to break down. So when we do overturn the ball, we need to move it quickly and quickly out wide. Now, our most successful dribblers this season is first Jadon Sancho, second Noni Madueke. I do think Pedro Neto will start. So do you start Jadon Sancho or do you start Noni Madueke? For me, it depends how healthy Jadon Sancho is. If he's not feeling right and if he's not 100%, you've got to start Noni Madueke. Look, the confidence in the Chelsea dressing room is extremely high at the moment. They've just come off an 8-0 thrashing against Noah. I understand you might say, well, that's Noah. Arsenal are different. I get that. But when you build that momentum, it's so important in football. Even though many players that didn't start that game will be starting this game, that's infectious. That winning style is infectious and it rubs off on each other. So we need to bring that belief, that confidence in this game. I really do believe Chelsea will win this game. It's how we'll win it. Arsenal are there to be got at. We don't know how fit Martin Odegaard will be. We need to move the ball between the lines early. Put passive in possession. Arsenal's pressing and triggers and pressing in numbers is so impressive. They'll force high turnovers, and that's how Arsenal will get on top of Chelsea. So can it be passive in possession? Now, the interesting thing is Arsenal played with an inverted fullback last season, and they formed that box here that Chelsea often form this season. Now, I think they'll do it at times, but against Tottenham, we've seen them have that back and forth and they said to Tottenham, break us down. I think they're going to do something similar against Chelsea. So that's when our extra man comes in handy, and that is Cole Palmer. He needs to be that spare man all the time because that gives him room to be Cole Palmer and impact the game. And I've got a funny feeling Cole Palmer's going to shine this weekend if he plays. Let's talk about that, because if Cole Palmer's not fit enough to play, it's still quite worrying that we haven't heard anything from the team or Enzo Maresca. Now, I'm recording this video before the press conference, so I'm sure he's going to talk about it in the press conference. If Cole Palmer doesn't play, we've got the choice of Chris Van Kuku or João Felix. Now, judging by that performance against Noah, they both had 2 goals. They both got an assist. But there was something about João Felix that really stood out to me. Receiving the ball on the half turn, he was finding pockets of space. He was becoming a nuisance to the opposition. And I just think he can be a real nuisance to Arsenal's system because his movement can move oppositions out of their natural position, opens up room for others to exploit. I wouldn't mind actually seeing a João Felix in this game. If Cole Palmer does play and we're needing a goal in that second half, I wouldn't mind seeing João Felix and Cole Palmer both play as a number 10 when we're trying to change the game and give Arsenal something different to think about. But the options at Enzo Maresca's disposal is insane. Against Man United, I want us to be a bit more brave. Maybe can we move Cole Palmer a bit higher, closer to Nicholas Jackson, to give the opposition a different thing to worry about. I'm not seeing change inverted fullback because I think we should continue doing that. It allows us to beat the press. That's extremely vital. Just move players around slightly, move players closer together or further away to open up space. But I do think the wingers are going to be crucial in this game. We need to win with individual battles. You win your individual battles, you've won half the game. Speaking about individual battles, this partnership makes me happy. The partnership of Romeo Lavia and Moses Caicedo, the importance of Romeo Lavia coming back in this side has allowed us to see the best of Moses Caicedo. It's allowed him to express his athleticism, his work rate, his determination, his fight, his ability on the ball. Romeo Lavia has now been that screen protector for the back 4, and it's just allowed Moses Caicedo to play that number 8 role. Does he deliver? He is something special. He has been, for me, the best midfielder in the Premier League. That's again because of the return of Romeo Lavia. It's allowed him to be that midfielder that we all know he can be. Like I always say, football's built on profiles and partnerships. Romeo Lavia is a perfect profile to build up the partnership with Moses Caicedo. Every single team in the Premier League will struggle against those two. Physical, combative, good on the ball, got vision, extremely athletic, hard-working. So difficult to overcome. Final jigsaw of this winning this game is Nicholas Jackson. I've seen a lot of shouts for Chris Van Kuku to shout, and I understand it because he's so clinical. But Nicholas Jackson's movement has to be in this game. Saliba and Gabriel are 2 solid centre-backs. Now, what we need to do is move them apart, create that gap for runners to exploit. Nicholas Jackson does that with his movements. It's to angle his movements in the channels. And that'll just separate Gabriel and Saliba. And if you can isolate them in one-on-ones, you've got more chance of getting the better of them. Partnership between Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer, it's been unbelievable all season. We need to see that. But now it's a nitty-gritty. Here's my starting 11. But before I tell you mine, I want to hear yours. So make sure you drop your starting 11 in the comments below. But I would start with, I think Robert Sanchez is going to start in goal. I think that's inevitable, but he needs to just concentrate a bit more. We cannot afford any silly mistakes this game. James right back, good to have him back. Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwell as a partner in centre-back. And I would start with Marc Cucurella at left-back. His pace, his enthusiasm, we're going to need that against Bukayo Saka. He makes the right decisions on when to invert and when to not invert. Crucial. But it's also crucial having a natural left back playing left back. It just offers you a much better balance. On the left, I would start with Pedro Neto. His pace, what he's shown in the past few games, he's going to cause problems to Arsenal, and we need that pace to get him behind. Two central midfielders, I think I've spoke about this just previously. Romeo Lavia and Moses Caicedo. I think Enzo Fernandez is quite unlucky not to start. He's provided 3 assists in 24 minutes. But 2 assists did come from corners. He did have a very, very good game. But again, I don't think this is the right game for him to start with. I certainly think he can come on and make an impact. Cole Palmer in the number 10 position. But if Cole Palmer is not available, I would like to see João Felix play there. I think Maresca will start Noni Madueke out wide. His pace, he's so direct and dynamic. That's going to cause Arsenal a lot of problems. I rate Julian Timber extremely highly. He's got the pace to really trouble him. Nicholas Jackson up front, and I explained why previously. For that movement, it's going to be crucial. But I can't wait for this game. I really, really do believe Stamford Bridge is becoming a very difficult place to come and play football. I really, really do believe in Enzo Maresca, and I believe in this team. I believe that Chelsea can get a result against Arsenal. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win. I'm going to go for Nicholas Jackson to score. And then I might surprise you because I'm going to say João Felix is going to come on and score. But I want to hear your predictions. Let us know your predictions in the below. Are you excited? Do you think we can get a result against Arsenal? But guys, that's the end of the episode. And I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And until after Sunday, ciao for now.